My name is Kate Goldman, and I lead the Milken Institute's FinTech program. Today, I'll be presenting on behalf of Team ILluMInate alongside my teammates from Sunrise Banks and the Independent Community Bankers of America. A 2013 FDIC survey reveals the disproportionate rate that immigrants are unbanked relative to their native-born counterparts. This disparity is most severe among Mexican and Latin American immigrants, who hover between 50 and 60% banked respectively. Looking at the two maps on the right, we can see this disparity illustrated by the clear overlap in areas with higher concentrations of immigrant populations and areas that are the most unbanked. Additionally, factors such as age, language proficiency, and residing in an ethnic enclave all have higher likelihood for immigrants to be unbanked in the United States. With our knowledge of banking rates among migrant and immigrant communities, my team have taken these characteristics to create the profile of Salvador Cordero. Salvador is a Mexican-American immigrant who lives in Los Angeles County. He's never been banked, he doesn't know if he qualifies to open a bank account, and he's concerned about the potential for unforeseen costs with using a bank. Salvador is extremely engaged in his community. He and his family attend church weekly, and he sends his children to the local YMCA on the weekends. Both of these are trusted nonprofit intermediaries between consumers and the banks in their communities. Addressing the overwhelming rate of unbankedness among immigrant populations inspired my team to build Enclave. Enclave is a resource for trusted intermediaries engaging with migrant and immigrant communities to help educate users on the hows, the whys, and the wheres of banking. Financial health is fundamental for all Americans, regardless of where you were born or how long you've been a resident of the United States. Enclave is a supplemental tool that nonprofits can use to answer questions or offer resources that they might have been unable to provide themselves. Before I walk you through the Enclave app, I want to show you this projected customer journey map. We can see here at the beginning that Salvador has just gotten a new job. He's familiar with the check cashing system, but he's curious if there's a better way for him to access his money. So Salvador goes to his local YMCA and he asks someone working there if they can talk to him a little bit about their experience using the community bank in their area. Luckily, the YMCA employees have already been outfitted with Enclave in their arsenal of resources, and the employee is able to direct Salvador to the app. Using Enclave, Salvador is able to learn about banking and feel prepared to go and open a bank account. We can see here at the end that having used Enclave, Salvador is ready to bank and he's feeling good about it. When you open the Enclave application, it does not ask you for any personal identifiers. Instead, it only asks you to choose between Spanish and English language preferences. From there, you're given 3 different choose-your-own-adventure options. If you'd like to start off by learning about banking and why it matters, Enclave walks you through the good-to-knows and the need-to-knows of banking. Firstly, why does banking even matter? Why is banking a better alternative to other, less secure methods of holding and storing money? Also, what are the other added benefits of banking that you might not know about? To this, Enclave would answer to users that banking is important because your money is insured when it's stored in a bank. This means that you can rest easy knowing that your hard-earned money is there when you need to access it. Additionally, many savings accounts will actually pay you for keeping your money inside of the account. This is called an APY. Both of these are answers that users need to know before they're ready to begin their banking journey. We want them to go in confident, prepared, and ready. Secondly, Enclave walks users through the steps of opening a bank account. One of the major hurdles for migrant and immigrant communities hoping to bank are the identity authentication requirements. The app takes users through the pieces of information they can expect to have to provide when a bank is authenticating their identity. We're helping users to feel confident that when they go into a bank to open an account, they'll be prepared and equipped for that process. We don't want curveballs deterring anyone from getting banked. Enclave also adds to the perspective that identity is important for banking because when banks know who their customers are, it makes them better at doing their job and keeping our money safe. Enclave offers users photo examples of what acceptable forms of ID might look like. All these examples are telling users to look for pieces of ID that have photos attached. For example, a green card, a passport, or a valid driver's license. And lastly, Enclave helps connect users with banks in their area that fit their specific needs. Users will input where they live, how far they're willing to travel to get to a bank, what their language capabilities are, and what type of services that they are looking for specifically. For example, no overdraft fees, really strong remittance capabilities, things like that. From there, Enclave takes that information and will generate a number of community banks in their area that match their desired preferences, either completely or as many of them as possible. And with that, users feel ready to go online or go into a bank branch and begin that banking relationship. Now, you can all actually scan this QR code with your mobile phones right now if you'd like, and it'll take you to a rendering of what the Enclave app would look like on your phone once it's been fully built out and developed. And lastly, to make Enclave come to life, we need to solve for its efficacy by testing this product with migrant and immigrant communities and the nonprofit intermediaries that they're already engaging with. Additionally, we need to promote this as a tool so that any organization who sees the value add of this resource is able to make those in their network aware of it as a tool. And with that, I close and I look forward to answering all of your questions. And I thank you all for your time today.